CBN over alleged missing 3.2 trillion naira oil revenue, and resignation allegedly rejected by police high command. We'll find out more on that story. And federal government commissioned 100 kilowatt solar power plant built by youths in Ebonyi. And prices of major food stuffs in southwest markets increased by 100%. Trust me, everything has increased. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. At all. It's not funny. You legit are going to the market and you're like, what is going on? I did some little grocery shopping over the weekend, and I was like, so. And the shopping mall had this machine that you see the price, and they were like, "No, don't put it again. I'm going to return it back to the shelf," because it's somehow funny how prices move that fast. Something
quite alarming.
Too alarming.
Prices of bread
from like 250 to 500.
That's honest truth.
All right, let's go on. The This Day newspaper has the headline: "ONI charges government to pacify youth with employment." And Kwara Judicial Panel on Police Brutality receives 18 petition. Disco blame transmission company of Nigeria for irregular power supply. The Nation newspaper has the headline: meter producers begin free installation training today, Monday. And Governor Bakwa Abiodun to inaugurate 16 commissions on boards. And also, Nigeria needs new people's constitutions, not amendment. We're going to take that headline specifically this morning. A Nigerian women journalist elect new leader and hijacked police brutality protest. Lagos Police Command arrests 720 suspected hoodlums. These are the headlines on the dailies this morning. But I'd like us to start off with the rape headline. It's on the Punch paper with regards to rape cases rise by 149%, says Action Aid. A non-profit organization known as Action Aid Nigeria has lamented that rape cases in the country has increased by 149%. The increment was attributed to the lockdown as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. A statement by the Board of Trustees of Action Aid Nigeria after a virtual meeting revealed to the State of the Nation on Saturday indicated that since the COVID-19 lockdown, a wave of rape and other forms of sexual gender-based violence had increased. It also has here that since the commencement of the lockdown, report cases of gender-based violence have substantially increased with a monthly increase of 149% in 23 out of 36 states in Nigeria, where we could obtain data on sexual gender-based violence. It says despite to date, only 17 out of the 36 states and the territory have passed the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act in Nigeria. The organization also decried the hike in electricity tariff, describing it as unfortunate and ill-timed. Now, with the consistent increase in gender-based violence, look at the cases of rape. And, the funny thing about the increase in rape cases during the pandemic, it wasn't adults that were getting raped. It was minors. We had more cases of under 5, under 15 raped during the pandemic. If it was becoming something, every time I read the news at 12 and 6 a.m. in the morning, and every time the news get to me and there is a report of a young girl that was raped or a young boy that was molested, and there was a time on the radio, if you listen to our news consistently, every single day there was a report between 6 and 12 during the lockdown on the news.
Even before the lockdown.
But during the lockdown, it became like a bulk of our news because we now had to take this one today, take the other ones tomorrow. It was too many reports of rape cases going on. How did we get to this dilapidated state? Because it's not just Nigeria. Globally, there was an increase in gender-based violence. But here in Nigeria, to be specific, the number of children that got defiled during the pandemic, it is too sad that this is happening to us.
When you're talking about not only in Nigeria, but globally, you're talking about in the states where the law gender-based, let me say, especially on rape, women, inequality, all this stuff. We're talking about countries where the laws are not strict.
Okay.
Talking about United States or England, the rape cases there are not as high as we have in Nigeria. Because why? In Nigeria, how many has been prosecuted? how many has been sent to jail?
Mm.
Not just jail, for at least minimum of 25 years. How many has gone? So without that, until the country, on the federal government and the constitution, the House of Assembly, the National House of Assembly looks holistically into it and do something substantial, especially with the sanction. That's not fine because it's a criminal case.
Yes, it is.
It's a criminal case against person.
Yes.
Against the humanity of the person, integrity, everything violated the person's human right in every form.
Yes.
So what they ought to do is that the sanction, the penalty for it, should be as equal as murder. With that, you will see that it will reduce.
Okay, do you think, because right now there is a Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, and as we speak, only 17 out of the 36 states have actually passed this law, right? But Mr. Adeyemi is coming from a part where we need to enforce our laws, and that's the way we can go. But I personally feel I'm going to counter what you're saying, because I think that the issue with rape has a lot more to do about culture, has a lot more to do with people than it has to do with law. Nkechi, what do you think?
So, yeah, thank you so much. When I saw the headline, of course, it's very heartbreaking, and, to know that it's something that continues and will even continue until something is done about it. But I'll come from the perspective of us putting attention to also training the boy child. So let me use the word the boy child or the male child, just as we put attention to the female gender as well. And of course, I understand what is going on with the female gender is like a catch-up for what happened in the past. But at the same time, it looks as if because of this catch-up that we're trying to work out for the female gender, and rightly so, there's nothing wrong with that, the male has somehow been neglected. And just as an example, coming through, when I come to radio in the mornings, I just see some boys on the street, and I'm like, okay, these ones are going to grow up. They are seeing. Let me give a practical example. I was coming one time, and there were this, I don't know if there's what they're called, almajiris. I'm not so sure. Yeah. So, and they were usually, they are there with their parents, small boys. But this one, they started doing what the Agbero started doing. So instead of just sitting with their parents, now what they do is that they start pursuing cars or something like that, or they start helping cars come through. Then when you come through, they come to your windows and like, oh, something for you, something for me, rather give me something. Sometimes almost forceful. What am I trying to say? These boys are growing into a society. They are seeing, so it's not a matter of talking. They are seeing, and they are beginning to act like that. So what is being done for this? Because these are people are going to grow and are going to start raping people. So they may not be in the streets forever and ever, but they are going to grow with the mentality of whatever. Like, certain things are okay, and they'll grow into becoming those kind of men. So that is the perspective I'm coming from. We need to pay attention to also training our male gender. So when you say it has to do with culture, there are some cultures, I know that there are some cultures they try to make it equal from male and female in terms of education, but there are still some cultures where they believe, oh, let's leave the man, let's leave him alone, and we need to train our male child. We need to train our boy child, because it has to start from personal responsibility. The law will do their own part. The law, they are going to do their own part, but at the end of the day, is it going to be sustainable for the next generation? We want an eradication. We want an complete eradication. And yes, one of the methods to do that is by having scapegoats for others to see. But at the same time, won't people invent new ways to rape in a way that it cannot be caught if we don't deal with the mindsets?
We have in the country highly underreporting of rape cases. Number one, and one of the core values of Women Radio is breaking the silent culture, which is something we need to talk about. We need to talk about the stigma that comes with the shame culture that comes when a lady is being raped. How we've seen families, we've heard various stories on the radio of families saying, no, don't let anybody know, don't say it out. You're going to bring shame to the family. All of these mindsets, these ideologies have been there for a long time, and you would be shocked. I was still talking with one of my colleagues the other day, and then she was talking about how a particular man who is working class, works in the corporate world, still had a very retrograde mindset with regards to when a woman is being raped. And then she was shocked because she expected that, oh, this person is learned, he went to school, he shouldn't have such mindset about rape. According to the conversation, this man actually just said, no, it's nothing, there's nothing there. And then she's like,
Now,
Well,
let's,
like you are
Daniel, I want us
people.
to look at this perspective again.
okay,
We are talking about rape. That's the one that happens within our locality,
Yes.
one or two.
Yeah, underage
What
children.
what about the ones that are abducted for rape in mass? What happens to those women being abducted in the north? What they use them for? Because they are sexual satisfaction against their consent, against their will.
okay,
Is that not rape?
okay.
And nothing is being done over there. You see, what you are saying is beyond what we are just talking about. That's why I said until it is highly criminalized in Nigeria, until the penalty on it is as equal as somebody that commits murder, I tell you, nothing will happen. It will not change. The trend will be the same thing. And if nothing is done over there, that you protect the rights of a woman, that a woman is not just a thing. The woman is not just a decoration in the sitting room or in your house, that she has equal value, equal right as you are as a man. I tell you, if that is not addressed, the same thing will have over and over
Don't you
again.
think that it has to do with some cultures? There are some cultures that see women that way than some other cultures.
But I think that's how we have.
see-
I think I agree with him on the fact that we need the law to help correct some of these cultures.
You see, we must correct it through law. Okay, the Yorubas will say, "Ọmọ tí wọ́n bá kọ́lé tí ò bá gbọ́n." When you have been trained in the home and you did not take to the training, they will teach you outside. You'll be trained outside. That's what the law is all about.
Right.
So the law has to make it, put
it
in
in
their
a way.
trust, especially in those areas, especially the northern area, for instance,
Well,
where
there's a lot
women are
to-
still seen.
Yes, there's a
in
lot of
certain
reasons
way.
why. At least the 17 states, I think, that have signed into this particular section with regards to some of their cultures in the north. That's why this
Yes,
is
a
taken. So,
lot.
but let's get your comments
A lot.
this morning on 070-317-56537. And you can also tweet at us this morning at WFM917 to be part of the conversation here on the radio. All right, we're going to move straight into this particular headline. It's across different papers this morning, which is with regards to Nigeria needs a new people's constitution, not amendment. This is coming from Olanipeko, and Olanipeko is a lawyer, erudite lawyer. Chief Wole Olanipeko San has said that a brand new constitution can address the myriad of challenges bedeviling Nigeria and not an amendment of the operational 1999 constitution. Olanipeko regretted that 1999 legal framework is not adequately enough to handle Nigeria's peculiarities. The eminent lawyer noted that what the country needs is a people-oriented constitution that will recognize its diversity, as the present one was being put on Nigerians by the military. Now, let's look at this current situation. I also listened to another lawyer over the weekend who was on a television platform who spoke about the fact that irrespective of who comes into power, as long as we have the 1999 constitution, they cannot perform magic. That what we need is a new constitution. But I want to toe the line of thought this morning towards, if the possibilities of having a new constitution is being constrained, and amending the 1999 constitution has not been able to do what is right, can't we make the best use of what is already there?
Daniel, what is bad is bad. And when something is faulty, they said when the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Yes, the Bible says the Lord God is still there on the throne. That's when it comes to things of the spiritual and other things. But we're talking about the physical amendment, what actually is affecting us as a people.
Okay.
The Constitution of Nigeria, is being framed by the military, and there are so many loopholes in it. And looking at, the chief son has said that we need a new constitution. That would be if the government would be holistic about it. Don't forget that even during Jonathan's era, there was a conference that looks into the constitution in what to do regarding the constitution. But are they going to allow it? That's the question we should always ask ourselves.
Okay.
Are the government, the people in government going to allow such? Because by the time you say we want an overhaul, renew constitution, and that we take care of all the needs of Nigeria, don't you know it's going to be to their own detriment? So that is one of the reasons why you see that this thing has not been coming forward, and it has not seen the light of the day because of the selfish and the greed that is embedded in our so-called leaders.
But then I'm thinking top of my head right now, if we complain about this crop of leaders that we have and we're not satisfied with their performance, how then can we trust them to write us a new constitution?
You see, that's one of the problems we are having. It is one of the major problems we are having. You see, constitution, you see, when you look at the preamble of the constitution and say, we the people of Nigeria. No, it's not the people of Nigeria that actually considered in writing that constitution. It's just a body that was given. So some selected people were given to write that constitution. But this one, there must be a referendum. There must be a town hall meeting. They must seek the conscience and the opinion of all Nigerians through their constituencies, through their leaders. That, okay, this is what do you want us to do regarding you people in this area, and so that we can know what we can put into the constitution. These are the ways that we can say, okay, we're having an holistic, people-oriented constitution, not the kind that the military gave to us because they gave it to us because they wanted to transfer the power to the civilian, and they have to rush in and make sure that also they are safe to some extent in it, and to a particular area. You know that when you look at it, it's one way or the other. That's why when the constitution is being interpreted by the judges, because there are a lot of ambiguities in it. But that's why they say the law, the judge, the judge makes the law, because why they interpret the law. The writer will write to his own understanding, but it's now left for the judge to interpret it in line with what is written. So until Nigeria as a people come together and write the constitution,
are you of the opinion that nothing good can come out of the 1999 constitution in today's world?
Not that nothing good has not come out of it. Don't let us make that mistake. Okay? But what we are talking is that there are some faults in it. That's what they are saying.
An amendment is not the way forward.
You see, because we have called for the amendment over the time. Don't forget that the 1999 constitution has been amended in 2011.
Yes.
That's why they said Federal Nigeria Constitution as amended.
Yes.
2011. Now looking at that, it has been amended and amended, but yet there are so many clauses. There are so many things that are wrong in it. And because of the kind of people that are in power, it becomes so difficult. Now, you want to amend a part of the constitution that when you amend it, it's going to affect the people in the National Assembly. You think they want to amend that? You want to amend the constitution and it's going to affect a particular set of people that have been enjoying the power? I think they will allow it, whereby they make the majority in the House and everywhere. These are the problems we're having. That's why they have been clamoring for restructuring. That we need to restructure so that we all can come to the table and have an agreement.
I think that whether we restructure or we amend, there's one thing that has been lacking and can keep a constitution accountable, and that is a vision for Nigeria. It is just as simple as that. When we have a vision for Nigeria, we're able to hold anybody in power accountable to say we have a destination we are going to, we have something we're trying to build, we have a picture that we're looking to as a people that we understand. You are doing your job or you're not doing your job. And I think that is one of the things, even though it's taking a lot of fight and talk in US, that makes them understand where they are going to some certain extent. So we need to have that. Without a vision, a constitution, we are not going to know, where to go, how to go about it, who to hold, how to tell this person that they are doing rightly or they are doing wrongly. And when we have that, that is bigger. Yes, of course. So it's something we need to form. Maybe I don't know. I'm not aware of any current one that we have. It's something we need to form as a people. It's not some set of three people coming together to just manufacture something. Something we need to form as a country. Where do we want to go to? You know, where are we going to? What do we want to become? What do we want to contribute to the world? That way we would now know what we need to remove and add to our constitution. And then we are able to keep people accountable and kick them out. You know, this is 2020 if they are not doing the right things.
All right, thank you so much. 070-317-56537. 070-317-56537 is the number to send us a text or WhatsApp message to be part of the conversation here this morning on the newspaper review. 27 minutes past 8. This is the newspaper review on Women Radio 91.7. Nkechi Emmanuel Layode alongside Adeomi Adeolu is joining me on the radio to be taking you through the headlines on the dailies. All right, we go straight into this. Has begun to spark a lot of conversation. It looks like when Lagos does something, everybody begins to talk about it. Now, and state cautions on ending ex-governor's deputy's pension. Now, despite the issues around revenue of states and their inabilities to effectively meet workers' demand and other obligations, many states are unwilling to repeal the law that legalized the payment of pension and other benefits to former governors and their deputies. This is according to the This Day investigation has shown. All right, inquiries by This Day against the backdrop of the move by the Lagos State governor to abrogate the law showed that some of the states, including Akwa Ibom, Adamawa, Sokoto, Enugu, had no immediate plans to review the law and free funds for other critical purposes. Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu last week unfolded a plan to stop the payment of pensions to his predecessors and former deputy governor. He had told the House of Assembly while presenting his 2021 appropriation bill that he would soon send an executive bill to repeal the Public Office Holder Payment of Pension Law 2007 that empowers the state government to pay pension and provide other welfare benefits, including houses in Lagos and Abuja, vehicles and other form of comfort to the former governors and their deputies. Now we are seeing this, but I think Kwara State Governor Mr. Abdurrahman Abdurrazak has actually pledged to do the same. He spoke at the weekend and said he's going to be sending a bill to the State House of Assembly this week, requesting the lawmakers to immediately repeal the law.
Yeah.
Let's have a balance with this. I'm not totally saying there should be some form of gratification for the work they have done as state governors, either for 4 years or for 8 years.
Yeah. Daniel, you have said right. You see, I'm not in support that we should repeal their pension totally.
I thought
let me explain it to you. Okay. Let me explain it to you. The reason is this. Having worked as a governor, it's very difficult for them. Where do you want them to go and work again? Do you understand?
Okay.
That means except they remain in politics, they cannot go outside and become an MD and be working for one company after being a governor. It's a slap on the state. That is one. Let me explain it to you. What I'm saying is this. If now let's assume Sanwo-Olu leaves the government. Now Sanwo-Olu is now being employed to work maybe with let's even say he's working with maybe federal parastatal. You want to make him the PS or what line? Where do you want to absorb him? Do you understand? As an ex-governor, it's not done. That is why you see that president and governors. You understand? You don't, even the American president, you don't see them working. What they do are just to have their own, maybe it's a lawyer, have family, settlement. Just do. You can't employ him. And also, as a president, it's like it's at stake. And the moment they get rid of him, it's an insult, and there are enemies that are looking for them one way or the other. So that they don't allow it. Having said that, I don't want them to remove their pension.
Okay.
What should be done?
Okay.
I would say all the incentives should be cut that comes with it.
Okay.
Then the severance fee that they give them, that one should be eradicated. Because if they are going to collect pension, let the servant fee, because when you look at the servant fee, oh God, it's among us. So let that one be removed, but let them be given pension to sustain them.
Okay.
As an ex-governor and ex-deputy governor.
Okay.
That one should be allowed. But giving them 6 cars, they should reduce it. They should reduce it to 2. They don't need us in Abuja.
No, they don't need
they don't work in Abuja. Let them, whatever they want whatever you want to give them, let it be in their domain. Lagos, let the ex-governor of Lagos State reside in Lagos State. That's where he governed.
Okay.
So whatever in treatment that is going to have, let it be in that state. Not giving the house in Abuja for what?
All right, let me
just
get
like I
perspective.
said on Wednesday, we spoke about this on Wednesday, and again, just like I was saying when Buki was here, I'm still coming from the perspective of not everybody. I know when people talk about these things, they just let's eradicate it because of everybody. So not everybody in the government is corrupt, and we need to look at it from a perspective of service. What is the public office supposed to be for? It's supposed to be for positive, transparent, and selfless service. When we have that, which is where we are going to, that's where we are, and that's our destination. We put things in place that will reward such people for their selfless, transparent service. And that is why, just like I was saying on Wednesday, I advocate that it should still remain. But of course, Mr. Adeyemi has done a good work just breaking it down for us. The unnecessaries should be removed, especially because it is affecting the state now. At a point, I was only thinking about it during the weekend, because one of the reasons why our governor in Lagos State is saying it should be removed is because of budget. It is very stressful to the budget at this time. I don't know if suspension can be good or how easy it will be for it to be suspended and for it to come back. But if it's going to be so hard and it's going to take a bit of, it's going to take a lot, then we can have it drastically reduced. Maybe it's better that way, while we prioritize the people, because the problem comes when you prioritize the people, and you are not here for self. You are not here to feel good or to feel secured without having the people of the states that you once served, having those things that you currently have.
Yeah. Thank you. You when you said that if the people that came in that the people that served holistically, selfless people, that is one aspect that one will look into and say, okay, let it remain. But the problem is that Nigerian governors, that's a problem. That's the problem we're having. That's why people are also saying scrap it out.
But that's
because a lot of money has gone. They are trillionaires by then. If you are able to spend just 4-8 years in the government and you have become a trillionaire, then you don't need any money.
Yeah, it's painful, but that's the model. That's
the truth about that.
Yeah.
But if we want them as well, if we don't want them to be thieves, to remain thieves, then we should make sure we make provision for them.
All right.
So that's the aspect I'm saying that we can't scrap it.
26 minutes to 9 this morning. This is still the newspaper review on Women Radio 91.7. I'd like to quickly give out this information. It's coming in from the Lagos State government. Lagos announces adjustment in level crossing closure date. So the Lagos State governor announced a slight shift in the slated for the closure of the level crossing at Ilupeju, Ogunlokun, Jibowu, and Yaba for the construction of the Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Railway project. The closure, earlier stated to begin yesterday through Wednesday, had been slightly adjusted. A statement by the Assistant Press Office of the Ministry of Transportation, Mrs. Bolale Ogunlola. This is a statement. She says the closure, according to Ogunlola, will begin today, Monday, with the Ilupeju level crossing closure. Ogunlokun level crossing would follow suit tomorrow, Tuesday, while Jibowu and Yaba level crossing will be shut down from Wednesday, and the time for the shutdown remains 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. So motorists are advised to ply all the alternative routes that have already been provided for the daily closure. So for those plying Ilupeju level crossing are advised to use Ogunlokun, Yaba, and Jibowu crossing to access their destination. Also, those who are accessing Ogunlokun Road or access other areas from Ogumoko are to use the Lupeju crossing to Mushin, Oshodi, and Surulere to get to their destination. These are the alternatives that have been identified by the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, and personnel would be on ground to ensure steady flow of traffic and to also ensure that there is no obstructions on that road. So it's going to be pretty rough for those in that area for the next 3 days. So please bear with the Lagos State government. All right, let's go back into some more dailies this morning, and we'll take the one with regards to the police. Post hashtag EndSARS, police to undergo massive reform. Now, the reform of the police is in the aftermath of the EndSARS protest is in the works. Now, these are some of the highlights that have been laid out here. We want to limit the minimum requirement for police enlistment to holders of ordinary national diploma, that's OND. Previously, people with primary school leaving certificate and secondary school certificate holders were recruited into the police. Also, the other amendment that's going to be going on is make all new entrant into the police, either as constable or as cadet level, will undergo compulsory psychological and mental test. Strengthening of the Police Service Commission to exercise stringent disciplinary control on erring policemen, officers and men to curb the high rate of brutality. These highlights are contained in the new legislations being worked out by the National Assembly, the federal government, and some stakeholders such as the Nigerian Bar Association and the National Human Rights Commission. I think this is important that they are giving us updates on what is going on. But I'm really happy that, at the end of the day, the EndSARS protest had been able to spark a conversation for these reforms, because these are things that should naturally have been done. There are no big deals that they have been addressed, but they should have been done. But somebody had failed in their responsibility in ensuring that these things were properly looked into. I also think this should also go down to the presidency too. The level of qualification needed to be able to run for elective offices should also be looked into.
You say, Daniel.
Yes.
Our constitution says if the moment you have your O level, and let us be honest, O level is the foundation of any educational level you want to talk about.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
O level is your foundation. And talking about saying that primary 6 level certificate holders are being employed to the police, I want to disagree with that. Maybe I would say in the south and south here, I wouldn't say much about the north. But here in the south, no primary 6 school leaving certificate is being enlisted into the Nigerian police. The minimum qualification is O level. O level is the minimum qualification.
And
looking at
is it possible that maybe the person went to school and then tried to develop themselves?
No. When I say O level, that's the requirement to be enlisted into Nigerian police.
Okay.
Even Nigerian Army that's the requirement. You must have your O level before you can be enlisted.
Yes.
Then, having said that, and looking at all that they have said that they want to do, there's still one thing.
Okay.
I think they need to look into is running a background check on
the officers.
Yeah, on everyone that will be enlisted into Nigerian police.
Why are you going to suggest that?
Let me explain it to you. And the way the model, I think they should do it.
Okay.
It has to be. You see, okay. Let's say by December, we are going to recruit.
Okay.
Into Nigerian police. Then let it be out. Let me say by between February and March, let it be out that anybody that wants to enlist into the Nigerian police should, come in, put in your applications, all this stuff.
Yes.
By the time they do that, and we know that it's going to be the enlistment is going to start by December. You will be able to do a lot of background check. Because you see, most of the things that is happening, when you see that the Nigerian police is being bastardized, is because most people that are there, some of them are criminals from the word go. So they saw the police as an avenue to even perpetuate their crime the more. So that's why you see that in the past, Nigerian police is not like this. I must be honest with you. They were you don't know that there were not bad elements among them, but they were very, very limited. Very, very limited. But now, what you saw is as a result of the society war, and as a result that most of the people enlisted, especially those young ones, bro, if you find out what they do even in their domain before they were enlisted, you see by the time they hear, this one is enlisted, they will say, people in that area will say, problem don't happen. No. I've had it over the time. So there should be an incubating period that they will be able to run that background check, so that to know what that person is, the character, so that you don't just bring in.
Is that not what a testimonial is for?
No. Testimonial is some testimonial. What does it?
Sometimes they tell you to get
Excuse me. You need an employment, and you come to me.
Yes.
What am I going to say about you? I'm going to say good thing about you, so that you can get the employment. Let's be realistic. It is for the government to run a background check. In doing that, you will ask questions, you will investigate. People will not know that you are even investigating the person. And before you know, you have that data of that person.
True.
So I think I like the background check. It really makes sense. Another thing that I'm thinking of is I know a lot of people in the world that have gone on to be something and someone important, with the O-level, secondary school, high school, whatever it is you're going to call it. So I don't even think that is so much of a problem. However, if they say, to OND, I hope that getting into the OND, I know university is not so easy for people to get in there. People spend years at home and all that. I hope that process is simplified. However, I hope that it can be reviewed, because with a very good and solid secondary school education, you can actually think right.
Yes, really,
you can think, solid. And there are a lot of people. I'm thinking of one musician now who just got back to college. She just went to high school, and she's still really, really good.
I know a lot of great people who do not
so the problem comes when maybe your O-level system is a bit shaky. So having said that, yes, the background check, and just a lot of now that we are seeing this problem, a lot of this mental, psychological education, feeding. When I mean feeding, I mean mental feeding and all that put into secondary school is a great sign that we are seeing. It's something that is important at this time. Gone are the days where you wait till a person is 20 or 18. It needs to start from the secondary school, so that we are building solidified people that are independent and can go on to contribute to their society, whether they're able to afford an OND or university degree, without waiting and becoming should I say liabilities, because they're trying to wait.
At the same time, our educational level matters a lot as well. The structure of the education. I think the government ought to do something that a child that is below 18, until you are 18, you can't be admitted to any university. I think they should be strict about that. Let me explain it to you. You see, some level of maturity comes into play. It's very, very important. You see, you can't, in England, everything we are doing, we are saying we are doing after the English. If the English are doing that to make things better for them, then you that they are copying them, you don't want to go. You don't want to go into that. But in some level, you want to copy them. In England, if you are not 18,
if you are not a party,
you can't enter college.
Other states, even
you can't go into the college. Because they believe that by then you are an adult. You can be able to make a choice. By then they believe that your medulla oblongata has developed to a particular level that you can reason and write.
You will agree that there are people even within the age of 15 to 16 that are mature, creating.
I'm not saying no, but you are talking about ratio. We are looking about ratio of 2 to 10. No, please.
A lot of brains. They are special. Those, it's a different thing. Kids who have, solved very tough maths.
That's a different thing. But when it comes to, discipline, the way they do things, you see, be brilliant differs from be able to handle emotional things. We should understand that.
Okay.
You see, when they talk about emotional potency, that's the aspect they are looking into.
Okay.
How do you react? Empathy. How do you play with it? These are the things we are talking about,
But does
and
it
that
really
is
come
why
with it?
most of that. Look, let me tell you. Look, when you go to private schools now, you need to see mass failure, especially in 100 level. Why? Because most of them are young, and you know, coming from their home, their first time in the university, freedom, and this one that you are now. Honestly, that's what happens. But you know, somebody who has at least gotten to the age of 18.
Yes.
You know, you will be looking at my mates are
I think
already.
this is a different conversation we need to have with regards to the age range.
It has impact.
And yes,
It has impact. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it
That's why
does.
we should look into it too.
We would look into it as a topic specifically, apart from the government looking into it. Israel Mogijo says, Constitution and rising food price. The Constitution of Nigeria is seriously faulty. The challenge of Nigeria is constitutional, including that of the selfish leaders. Hence, a new, acceptable, and generalized constitution represented by all is needed. Okay. He also says the food price. We haven't gotten to the peak yet, because increase in fuel price is a natural disaster, and human drastically act in destroying farms and killings of farmers by herdsmen. It is more of the future famine. All right, Israel in Ogijo. Let's take the next one. You can keep your messages coming in on 070-317-56537. 070-317-56537. This is coming from Olu from Okearo. It says, when curfew was imposed by Lagos State and concerned citizens advised the NSAS protesters to leave the stage when the ovation was very loud, judging by the level of support they got from public for their area of grievance, they refused and had to wait till things fell apart. The process got hijacked, government and private properties vandalized, burnt, many persons and police officers were killed. To me, this is an agitation taken too far. So the position of the federal government to penalize some of the sponsors is to discourage tendencies in the future. All right, Olu from Okearo. Mr. Wale in Peace Estate Barua Ipaja says, please either IPPOS or UTERS pay package, let federal government accept ASU and SANU's demand and let the schools be reopened while the power plant, God bless Nigeria. Mr. Wale is sending that message in. My opinion is that not only that the law initiated by former governors that allowed them to plunge their states after leaving office should be abolished, but they should be made to return what they had stolen back to their respective states as restitution to avert the wrath of God that will suddenly before them. And all right, Chooks from Ikeja. All right, if the Nigerian police force is overwhelmed and can no longer secure the nation, it should make this known to the government so as to find lasting solution to the insecurity bedeviling the country through robbery, cult clashes, and so on. We are tired of begging officers to take up their constitutional responsibility. If government listen to the cries of Lagosians on NURTW, the masses will better for it, as there would be 60% drop in transport fare throughout the federation. Resurgent mission to reform our police recruitment, but can it work? I'm sure they're referring to Mr. Adeyemi's solution. When we have people from other sides who bring in cartels into the police just to dominate. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Says the country has gone underground for past. Makandi, thank you for the message. Makandi Nibafo. All right, 070-317-56537 is the number to send in a text or WhatsApp message to be part of this conversation. We can only take one more headline or two more. We'll try and see if we can squeeze in two more headlines this morning. So I wanted to take this headline. I'm not sure I sent these headlines, this particular one. Unite against corruption. ICPC tells Nigerians. And I took the headline specifically because when I saw the headline, I thought of it that are we actually united in the fight against corruption? Not the government now, but we the people. We the people.
No.
Are we actually
that's what is having the adverse effect on us.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let me just read a little bit of what ICPC wrote. The Independent Corrupt Practices Commission has called for national unity in the fight against corruption and other sharp practices in the country. Professor Bolaji made the call during a courtesy visit to the delegation of the News Agency of Nigeria, led by its managing director, Mr. Buki Ponley, to the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. He also condemned the widespread perception of the fight against corruption from tribal, religious, and political perspective, and called for proper advocacy and sensitization to correct the misconceptions. And when we arrest someone for stealing, it is either the people who see it from tribal, religious, or political perspective. Things cannot remain the same, and this is where the collaboration with the media and corruption agencies come in. And that's why when I didn't even read the details, I saw the headline and that question sparked in my head. Are we actually united in the fight against corruption?
Yes, I would say to some extent, and that will depend on the area. You understand? Over the time, there's one thing I want us to look into holistically and critically this morning.
Okay.
When you're talking about are we united when it comes to corruption and that we should unite, you see, to some extent, we are united when it comes to war against corruption. I'm talking in this part of the world, in this part of the country.
Okay.
We are united. You hear us equivocally,
I think
coming against.
let me pause you there and
people.
say let us not just look at corruption from the large scale.
No, not the large scale. I'm even talking within.
Okay.
You see, over the years, before now, when I was growing up, if you have any dubious acts, you'll be stigmatized. You'll be stigmatized. Nobody wants to relate with you. Nobody wants them to know you, that you are their friend. No. So that you don't stain their reputation in the environment. I had a big brother then who, unfortunately, then it's not my biological big brother, but in the environment, So we went into what you call 419, fraudulent act. Then what did he do? He was giving some money to buy some things for a particular person. But instead of paying that money and buy this stuff, he made away with the money.
So, yeah.
But later he was caught, he served some time. But do you know that at that point, we don't want to be known with him. Even when I see him on the road and he greets me, I'll just say, "Good day, sir. How are you, sir?" I'm off. And in the moment, it's just like you said, values over the time. And I will tell you, it has to do with the level of poverty in the country.
That's where I'll come, Mr. DME. I think
Let me allow you. Let me get
because that one, I was going to say, of course, I like the point you are coming from, but at the same time, I think that we allow, and I like the way Daniel said, not on the big scale, somebody stole 1 trillion naira, but just on the small scale, we have made excuses. We have made excuses for things that have should I use the word arrested some people's personal responsibility from them, so that they now allow for things that are not right, because of excuses of maybe the government, the this, the that. Yes, I know that it is not so easy, but we've seen people over time be able to walk through the that's what we should actually be modeling and helping people.
Let's look at it from this way. Thank God you can afford 3 square meals, even 2 square meals. Thank God you can afford it.
Okay.
I want to tell you today, even those that are graduates, married men and married women with children, I tell you, times are hard for them.
That is true.
But is that
Daniel, when hunger is in play, brother, your brain you are insane at that period.
Mr.
Especially, no, come. You see, when you have responsibility, your children is there, your wife is there.
Okay.
And they're hungry. Look, you see, why do you say now in recent time we've had the alarming rate at which married women go into promiscuity? Why? Because when there is no food in their home, their husband has tried and nothing is coming forth, and the children are there. Look,
do you know that things cannot always be right? Whether the person has
thank God you can afford to eat, you can afford to send your children to school. I'm telling you that 67% to 70% of Nigerians are living in
But we
hidden
have
poverty.
people that have been there and they've chosen to come
That's
out
what my sister.
in a
That's
different light, and now they're telling their stories.
somebody who is able to think, or who can rely that, okay, if I go to Bolalagbaja, he'll be able to give me something. But when if you go to Bolalagbaja, you don't even have anybody to go to. Whenever you go to people and they turn you down, it happens. Okay, a friend of mine told me, this just happened just some days back. The guy told me that nothing in his house. He called the first friend. The first friend said, and I am too. The second one, he said, you know, and the wife at a point, you know, a woman will pick up fight when nothing, the children are there. Will you be looking at them hungry and starving? Everybody man. And this guy is an act. He finished from Osu.
Okay, Mr. James, what did you do? What did you now do?
It's because there are people that could come around and help. Imagine things like that. If you don't have people around you,
So why do we arrest
the will be bad.
Then let us understand and
How many people? You see, the only way out is that we should be our brother's keeper. If we don't want the same thing to continue,
we'll stop there as being our brother's keeper.
Keepers, not
As being our brother's keeper. All right. This is what we call the newspaper review to a wrap this morning. I will definitely do this again tomorrow morning at exactly 8:00 till 9. But we have about 2 more minutes left and we have to go right now. Thank you so much, Adeyemi and Nkechi, for coming in this morning on the newspaper review. Let's have a beautiful and a productive working week.
We are WFM 91.7, the voice of women, using radio as a tool for women development. We condemn the abuse of women, girls, and children in any shape or form. WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
Yeah, a new season.